Good afternoon. Is it better? Okay. No? Good afternoon. Much better. I mean, you can hear it. Please small. Good afternoon. Chief of the Liberian Armed Forces officially welcome you to another edition of our weekly press briefing here in the foyer of the Executive Mansion. We'd like to welcome you to our regular press briefing. As I've mentioned the date and I talked about those who are following, but we like to again in this manner welcome. So welcoming to our family, want to welcome Ms. Sampat Bakima of Women Voices newspaper. Welcome and thank you for joining the team. Institutions, the media institutions who are seconding the female reporters to come and join the Executive Mansion Press Corps. I can recall the Corps were men, and we did highlight that in a number of different conversations. I'm glad to recognize the fact that institutions are doing their best terrains. But this is not to say you all will be giving special favor. The team here knows whatever is due journalists, all of you are treated equally. Executive Mansion family, our office of the Press Secretary, the Department of Public Affairs to officially welcome both of you. And feel free, join the team. It's an interesting terrain. It's always having a very busy time. And this week is no different. His Excellency administration is well positioned. He continues to work for the Liberian people every day, every minute, taking actions and providing leadership and guidance for the country. Cabinet meeting of the year, where he really highlighted and focused on our natural resources, particularly in the mining sector. And this sector, especially strengthening the governance, the legal framework guiding the sector, looking particularly at the finalization of the West African component of our region, also has a large gold reserve. But just beyond looking at the gold reserve in generality, there is an interest conversation around exploration regulation office and the development of the new mining law and the finalization of the general mining regulations. There have been challenges within the mining sector. On the cabinet meeting, he did talk about some of the challenges, especially in companies reporting what they're mining from the sector. Beyond just words, the president's interest is really looking at the resource governance component, but mostly the law, strengthening the different frameworks and really supporting the sector. Combat smuggling and framework for formalization of the artisanal mining area, because you know Liberia is also challenged. Right now, there are lots of people interested in the mining sector, particularly conversation around the formalization of the law to support whistleblowers who will enable and help this sector, because once it's formalized, and Cabinet discussed also yesterday in the sciences, in geology, mining engineer, and resource management, because for him, he believes that strengthening local expertise that will enable the government, you know, natural resources, they get depleted. However, in putting in the perimeter, the sector to protect and safeguard the people interested in the sector, even citizens, also the community. One of the other key issues, communities are all, like I mentioned, gatekeepers to allowing illicit miners to come to the communities. Some of them will receive some kickbacks, some money, and they smuggle in people to come and do, you know, saying. And more importantly, there's a conversation as well as discussed yesterday to look at refinery where particularly on gold, the construction, you know, particularly Ministry of Finance, institutional addition. A member of the board was also appointed of the Times. Times and prolonged that undermines peace, development, and public safety. The order builds on the existing policy from the Minister of Mines and Energy, and these instruments will help improve the sector and ensure the issue of energy challenges will be put under control.
They have their own passengers and the drivers. So yesterday they came out with some fair say. So yesterday they came out with some fair say.
Price of petroleum product on the market and a number of different things. And of course, in terms of monitoring is where there are challenges. The Ministry of Transport also does not have all of what they need, especially with the, instead of passengers taking law into their own hands, they should be able to work along with the Ministry of Justice, specifically the police, as to, you know, where the challenges are for services, but also ensuring that it's affordable. And that is where it's important that the different parties, you know, comply. Again, you know, identify the specific driver, identify their vehicle, that, I mean, the price. And most of the time, before Ministry of Transport even put out these for National Police with the drivers' unions, because so that the unions themselves can implement the fares as it was announced. Yes, implement the fares as it was announced. Yes, engage there. There have been challenges. If you're a community member, if you see some illicit activities, but because you're afraid, you getting incentives, so you know, of the conversations that's going on at the moment to really see how structuring the sector, so that instead of John Brown got one machine here, Peter Paul got one machine here, you know, all these, or their illicit mind, you go and do small thing, you do your whole thing, you find something, you carry, you find means to sell it, you're hiding, there's other person hiding, and you wouldn't get, you know, what, you know. So one of the conversations the president is talking with is where you can get license, you can be given the authorization to practice, where you will be licensed, you will be allowed to, you'll be given equipment, you'll be given training, and you even have all of the geological surveys that's happening with everything that's been, you know, talked about. Liberia has some great minerals, and even some new, you know, minerals have been discussed. It was specifically on that, to look at the other minerals that have been talked about and where the country sits. And I can tell you all that the project, I mean, the perspective is really very high. The prospects are high. Even the projections as to where we call survey and study to understand where we are as a country, what minerals we have, so that we know. So when we have in conversation in framing our laws, framing our documentations, inviting investments and investors, we know what conversations to be had, and how it's not just about people, but also the country benefiting. Even if we set up structures, we set up our refinery, we know what conversations we have. Frameworks, the legal frameworks, the social frameworks, the health frameworks as well, because here is also, like I mentioned earlier, talking about the pollution of our waters, our environment, you know, putting all those frameworks is really, yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Press Secretary, and let me commend you to harassment or abuse by security forces. Thank you.
Yes. Did I see a hand? Did I see a hand? Did I see a hand? Yes, yes, go ahead. So we just take like yes, yes, go ahead. So we just take like we do take.
Thank you.
We do take.
Thank you. My name is Anthony Williams from State Radio. My name is Anthony Williams from State Radio. Still on the mind.
Question on the arm registration, why well, documentation of resident takes is really, really, really serious. Parsing whether you're multi-agency approach. So should there be any form of enforcement where agents of these different institutions are